All right, everybody. It is what is it? It's Saturday, which is typically when I do my maintenance. So today I've been putting this on for a while, but it can't be put off any longer. Today I am going to start working on the pulpit. It's begun to fade a little bit. I see a little bit of cracking over there, which I think the wood's not in real good shape right there. So I have to sand it, take these anchors off. Obviously the dog is going to help me, and sand it off and revarnish. I don't have to go too deep, I don't think, unless that area right there gives me a problem. So I'll take you along for the ride. The first thing I had to do was remove the backup anchors from the pulpit. The backup anchor on the left, that's a heavy anchor, probably about 60 pounds. Then I had to clean the teak because, well, there'd been a couple of months worth of dirt and dust and grime. It's not the cleanest place around here, so there's lots of dust that settles on the pulpit. And I was afraid that once I started sanding, the dust would start embedding itself in the varnish. After cleaning the wood and getting all the dirt and dust off of it, I masked the paint and around the stainless steel that I didn't want to get damaged by sanding it or accidentally putting varnish on it. I got the sandpaper out and I started sanding. I sanded with my fingers and then I moved to a block, tried to get it scratched up and smooth. Unfortunately, there were some areas of the old varnish that had been weathered a little bit worse than other parts. I had to spend a little bit of time on these other parts because, well, while there wasn't completely bare wood there, it had definitely worn to a point where it needed additional attention. Once everything was sanded nice and smooth, I got a tack rag and I tacked all of the dust off of the wood so that the varnish would lay down nice and smooth, and I wouldn't get anything between the wood and the varnish. Make for a nice finish. My intention was for the first layer of varnish to be very thin, hoping that the thin varnish would soak down into some of the open crevices. So I thinned out my varnish with a bit of Interlux 333 thinner, and boy does that stuff stink. But it thins the varnish out and creates no change in the tone of the varnish. Once I got the varnish the right consistency, I began to apply it to the wood. You notice I'm only using a little bit, so I just used red Solo Cup to mix it and get it to the right consistency. The Solo Cup's kind of easy to handle and I don't have to worry about moving around because the pulpit is not all that wide and my body is. So the Solo Cup made it easy for me to move around the pulpit and lay down the varnish nice and easy. Once the first layer of varnish was on, I let the varnish dry overnight. It cured, and the next day it was nice and hard, and it actually looked really nice. I was really pleased, thought maybe might want to just leave it that way. But I know from experience that if I left one coat of varnish, the sun would beat down on it very quickly, and there would be no varnish on it in not a very long period of time. So I scratched it up with a little bit of sandpaper. I got what are called alligators out. Alligators are parts of the varnish that didn't cure right because it was just too thick. But I was able to get those out, used a little bit of varnish and paint thinner to smooth those out. I put my second and third coats of varnish on, and the next day I took a look, and again it had cured, dried, and looked very nice. So one more coat. I did a quick sand, just scratching it up, and put my last coat of varnish on, and it looked beautiful. All right, here we go. That is the finished product with actually both anchors back on. Well, all three anchors are on now, and I'm pretty happy with the way things turned out. So just another project out of the way. Although I think I'll re-tie that a little bit better. But that's a heavy anchor. That's probably a 60-pound anchor right there. So needs a lot of line to keep it in place if we get into really rough water. But there you go. Been raining, and it looks pretty nice here.